is CTV News.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. Well, whether you are retired or just hoping to get there one day, many Canadians are finding the math just isn't adding up like it used to. With people living longer, costs continuing to rise, and more workers staying on the job past 65, questions are growing about what retirement really looks like now. CTV's Robert Lothian joins us with this story tonight. Robert, how many seniors are we talking about?
Yeah, Travis, we're seeing the highest percentages of Canadians over 65 staying in the workforce since these numbers became available in the 70s. Statistics Canada says there's about 1.2 million seniors still showing up to work. And while cost of living and longer life expectancy are certainly playing a part, one financial planner I spoke with says they're not the only factors. Between costs at the pump and in the aisles, for some it feels like there's no getting ahead.
I never thought I went to a mission, but I did, and they helped me out a lot. So that just goes to show how expensive things are.
And the finish line, retirement can feel like it's moving further away.
Because I got started off a little bit later, I had kids at a young age, so I'll probably be working until about 75.
I'm hopeful that I'm going to be able to retire before 65. I think that it comes down to prudent planning and, putting away money over time and hopefully compound interest offsets, inflating costs.
New Statistics Canada figures show delaying that final day on the job as a trend. In 2025, the average retirement age rose to 65.4 years. That's up from 61.6 years just 2 decades ago. As the costs rise, Canadians are also living longer.
Let's look at, you're working really hard to earn the income you need to eventually retire fully down the road. Why don't we retire partially right now?
Certified financial planner Bill McBay says there's no shame in continuing life in the workforce. For those not financially set for retirement, there are still options.
We're definitely hearing it being talked about more, and I think my job, or the job of the advisor, is to see whether or not that's okay or not.
However, the rising retirement rate may not just be due to cost.
It's not a surprise at all. We've known that those numbers have been growing for years, and even more so these days. 65 is just an imaginary number.
Some suspect more seniors want to keep working, turning to fulfilling opportunities.
The new retirement plan that I'm seeing more than not is retiring partially, maybe working at something you always wanted to do past your normal retirement age.
Regardless of whether it's due to the cost of living or a want to stay off the couch, McBay says it's best to start with a plan. Fears about being able to retire aren't exclusive to seniors. We did speak to people in their 20s who worry that day will never come. McBay says the earlier Canadians start planning for the retirement, the easier it will be down the road. Travis.
Thank you, Robert. That's CTV's Robert Lothian with our top story tonight. Well, for Windsor-Essex retirees, snowbirds, and cross-border travelers, the question of whether to head south has looked a lot different lately as well. After months of declines, there are signs more Canadians may be driving across the border again. CTV's Mike Lacouture has more.
Ottawa's Tulip Festival is a huge draw for tourists. These Montrealers used to take an annual trip to the New England coast, but since Canada-U.S. relations started to wilt, they're traveling domestically instead.
Stay in Canada and spend our money here, rather than encourage the American people who have this silly leader that they've got.
And it seems they're not alone. Researchers from the University of Toronto analyzed Canadian cell phone usage in the U.S. over a period of 2 years and found a median decline of 42%, more than the initial estimates of a 25% decrease. But that did include freight travel and Canadians who have to travel to the U.S. for work.
We think they're taking a lot more meetings at home in Canada on Zoom.
Researchers say it's even more apparent in some industries hit by the trade war.
You're seeing much less travel to places like Grand Rapids, Michigan. That's not a loss of tourist travel. That's a loss of trade-related travel related to the auto industry.
The new numbers from Statistics Canada show a slight uptick in cross-border traffic last month. In April, 1.8 million Canadians made return trips to the U.S. That's up 1.4% compared to the same month in 2025. It's the first time there's been an overall increase since December of 2024.
There will be those that will not travel to the U.S. no matter what, but I'm seeing many that had that attitude at the beginning are now softening and actually traveling now and going there also.
Despite that bump, Stats Canada numbers show when you compare April of this year to April of 2024, before cross-border tensions reignited, travel is down by 30%. Mike Lecouteur, CTV News, Ottawa.
A dramatic rescue on the Detroit River this weekend after a small boat flipped near Pesh Island, leaving 2 people clinging to the sides in strong currents.
Oh yeah, this person.
Oh, babe. Babe.
They're going down. They're going down.
Windsor police say the 9-foot vessel capsized Sunday afternoon, sparking calls for help. Officers with the Marine unit found a man and woman in their 50s hanging onto the boat, both wearing life jackets but struggling in the current. Police pulled the pair to safety and towed the boat back to shore.
They wouldn't have had much opportunity or chance had they not had their life jackets on. And not to mention the cold water as well would eventually take you.
Harbor Master Peter Barry says the incident is a good reminder to check weather conditions, have emergency equipment on board, and always keep an eye on other boaters on the water.
Could have been a lot worse if it wasn't for the folks that called to police as things were happening, called out to them as the police came into the marina. So having the public there to call out for help for those people in distress, that really saved their lives as well.
And staying on the water, commercial fishers in Wheatley are hoping a big federal funding announcement finally leads to long-needed work at the harbor. With that story, here's CTV's Bob Elachico.
I'm hoping that we get a good share of that pie.
That sentiment is shared up and down the shoreline across Canada. The federal government announcing $957.8 million for small craft harbors across the country, including Wheatley and Rondo.
To support, to maintain nearly 950 federally owned small craft harbors across Canada.
The Minister of Democratic Institutions, Ariel Kayabaga, was in Wheatley to make the announcement, which is being embraced by harbors in the region.
Our biggest issue is the entrance to our harbor.
Val DeMello is a member of the Wheatley Harbor Committee and says dredging is imperative.
To make it a safe harbor, we have to be able to access this, whether that be for the commercial fishing or even any boat that's out there that just needs a safe harbor due to weather or a breakdown.
DeMello explains boats rub bottom, some get stuck, and some have gotten turned around. He says a pier extension is also important.
The east wall needs to go out 200-300 feet. That would shelter us a little bit better, and then we could avoid the continuous spending of dredging.
Wheatley Harbor is home to 59 commercial fishing vessels. The investment will help to encapsulate the east pier in steel, construct a new concrete deck, along with dredging. The Rondo Harbor in Erie is home to 25 commercial fishing vessels and could use some help as well.
I know today they're down doing soundings so they can compare from the last one from over the winter and see if there's any changes, and then from there they can put it out to tender and get it done hopefully by the summer.
65,000 jobs rely on Canada's commercial fisheries, agriculture, and seafood processing sectors. Last year, exports from the sectors totaled close to $8.5 billion. Fisheries and Oceans Canada already has a budget of $90 million, which has helped to improve the harbor in Wheatley with updated hydro boxes.
Now it looks like we're all going to be on the same type of a plug-in circuit, so we'll all plug in the same way no matter what you do. Right? Oh, that makes it go from port to port.
Bob Elachico, CTV News.
Chatham-Kent police are investigating a fatal train incident after a pedestrian was struck by an eastbound passenger train Sunday afternoon. Police say a 34-year-old Chatham man died at the scene despite emergency actions taken by the train operator. The rail corridor was temporarily closed during the investigation. In Leamington, charges have been laid after a cyclist was hit on Erie Street South early Saturday morning. Police say the driver left the scene but was located a short time later. A 36-year-old Leamington man is charged with impaired driving, dangerous operation, and failing to remain at the scene. The cyclist suffered non-life-threatening injuries. What was expected to be a Windsor murder trial took a dramatic turn this morning when the accused suddenly pleaded guilty to manslaughter instead. Here's CTV's Michelle Molesky with the details.
Abdishakar Haroon has admitted that he was in possession of this illegal handgun with defaced serial numbers in November 2021. While seated in the back seat of this black SUV, court learned the handgun went off through the driver's seat into the left buttock of 44-year-old Percy Basil Scott. The injury caused him to collide head-on with a parked SUV on Dougal just north of University Avenue on November 18th. Before he got out of the vehicle, Haroon also admitted that he fired the handgun again and it struck Scott in the face. He was pronounced dead in hospital. After the shooting, Windsor police tracked Haroon to a hotel just outside of London using his cell phone GPS. The handgun used in the shooting was discovered 4 days later, discarded in an alley garbage can behind Palliser Street by a man who was searching for empty beer cans. Michelle Molesky, CTV News.
A heated day at Windsor City Hall as council signed off on a controversial South Windsor apartment project while also raising concerns about the future of conservation authorities. CTV's Sanjay Maru has the recap.
Windsor City Council has approved a controversial 29-unit apartment development at Cabana Road West and Casgrain Drive. The development by Homes by Artisan would replace 2 single-family homes with a 3-story apartment building.
Developers are going to look for the opportunity where they can actually make money on some of these projects, and so that's why we put limits on height. We put requirements on depth and setback from the road. We tried to deal with a number of the issues with respect to shadowing.
The project features a building height of just over 10 meters, new landscaping and screening requirements, along with 37 parking spaces. Much of the debate Monday centering around whether vehicles should be allowed to enter and exit directly onto Cabana Road rather than just on Casgrain Drive.
You're going to see more development there in Cabana, and if they accept the fact that you can't have an exit and entrance off Cabana, that's all going to spill over onto Bartlett to suffer, and again, you're creeping it back into the neighborhood.
Council ultimately approving the development in an 8-3 vote, along with allowing direct access onto Cabana Road. Also drawing attention at City Hall Monday, the province's planned overhaul of conservation authorities. IRCA CAO Tim Burney telling Council the organization has helped secure tens of millions of dollars for Windsor shoreline projects, helping offset some of the city's long-term infrastructure costs. Adding Windsor's shoreline is far more developed than many other regions across Ontario.
We are unique within the province of having, within the city of Windsor, almost 100% of the city's shoreline. It has been fully developed to support park and recreational use. The rest of the shoreline, Detroit River shoreline and Lake St. Clair shoreline is fully developed with residential development.
Council also raising questions about what could happen to locally controlled Conservation Authority properties under the province's plan.
Think of the Colavino property as for example. That was a direct bequeathment to the Essex Region Conservation Authority. Just to simply have the province say we're going to upload that property to this larger regional unit, I'm not sure that could withstand legal scrutiny in a court of law.
Sanjay Maru, CTV News.
As more Windsor-Essex families feel squeezed by rising costs, a new federal funding boost is coming to Family Services Windsor-Essex. As CTV's Chris Campbell reports, the agency says more people than ever are reaching out for help.
Family Services Windsor-Essex says more families are being pushed to the brink as soaring costs for food, housing, and fuel drive a growing demand for financial assistance.
Affordability is one of the most taxing things that families across Windsor-Essex are facing right now.
A new $700,000 federal investment through Prosper Canada's Resilient Futures initiative is expected to expand their free services and offer help with filing taxes, financial planning, and support for accessing benefits.
There's hundreds of thousands of dollars being left on the table that people are not accessing because either the system is a little bit too complicated for them or they're not filing their taxes and they don't understand or appreciate that they are eligible for those additional income benefits or tax credits.
Executive Director Sierra Holmes says the organization is hearing from more residents who may not traditionally qualify as low income but are still struggling to stay afloat financially.
People are trying to find any way that they can to just keep their head above water.
Holmes says many residents are also missing out on financial supports simply because they are not filing taxes or don't realize what benefits they qualify for. Prosper Canada says billions of dollars in benefits go unclaimed across the country each year.
For example, if you're a single mother and you're not filing your taxes, you're probably foregoing close to 50% of your income.
The announcement comes as economic uncertainty and tariff concerns continue to weigh heavily on Windsor Essex residents.
People are worried about even putting food on their table.
The groceries right now, it's getting so expensive that we cannot afford it anymore.
Some Windsorites say they're already changing spending habits to cope with rising prices.
Whatever I want to order, I make at home. I'm not ordering anymore.
Especially planning car trips, whether you're going to drive somewhere. You want to get, if you got 3 things to do, you want to get them all done at once, instead of having to make 3 different trips,
Family Services says the expanded program is also aimed at preventing housing loss by helping connect people with financial supports before they reach a crisis point. Chris Campbell, CTV News.
The St. Thomas teenager whose love of the Blue Jays captured hearts across the country has died. 17-year-old Wesley Johnson spent his final months checking off dream experiences after his family shared that his battle with heart disease was coming to an end. CTV's Brent Lale has his story.
He was in my arms and Dad was at his side and he was ready to go, and he took 4 very peaceful deep breaths and then passed.
Teenager Wesley Johnson of St. Thomas died Friday. We first introduced you to Wes and his family when they held a celebration of life in February, knowing he had just weeks to live. It kicked off a whirlwind couple of months, which included meeting the Toronto Blue Jays in spring training.
Oh, man. What's your name?
And then becoming the first ever honorary cadet of the St. Thomas Police Service.
He showed some admiration for the police, and I'm returning that admiration and respect back to him.
Not in my wildest dreams would I have ever thought that the last, his kind of like 9th inning would have been such an exciting adventure.
However, in the last couple of weeks, Wes's health started declining rapidly.
During this entire process, Wes has been aware that he was going to pass away. And I always made him 3 promises, and he always had to repeat them back to me. So the 3 promises were, you will never be alone, I will never lie to you, and you will not be in pain. And I was able to keep those promises.
His story captivated people from coast to coast. Thousands donated to his family's fundraiser, which allowed him to have his dying wish of meeting the Blue Jays.
I can't even get through the messages. I can't get through the comments because there's just so many. And the tribute from Jamie Campbell last night was so beautiful. The St. Thomas police chief posted something about his passing, and it was just an incredible way to honor an incredible little boy who touched so many lives, and I'm so grateful that I got to be his mom.
Wesley will be cremated Monday and picked out a special Blue Jays urn for his ashes. Born with a congenital heart disease, he knew his life would be short. But in the last couple of months, he was able to accomplish things even he didn't realize he wanted.
He had a journey grander, I think, in 17 years than a lot of people have in, 80.
Wesley Johnson was 17. Brent Lale, CTV News.
CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald has your full weather details coming up in 2 minutes' time. And still ahead, get ready to rock and celebrate a big birthday this fall. Stay with us. CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald is here with our first look at the forecast tonight. And Gary, I'm going to warn our viewers, we are going to say the F word, frost.
Yes, frost does begin with the letter F. And with that, people are, well, obviously upset, thinking that, well, it's May and we should be warm all of the time. Do we all think that way? Of course, our average lows are still in the single digits, but look at this map. It is going to be a cold, if not chilly night. An extension along the 401 from Chatham-Kent all the way through the GTA, Golden Horseshoe, onward towards Kingston and Ottawa and Montreal. It's chilly indeed. Now, temperatures could get down to about +1 in Windsor, Essex. So technically not frost-y, but definitely cold enough to do some damage to vegetation and not so pleasant for our furry-legged friends. Take a look at the stats just to give you an idea where we normally would be at this time of the year. Average low is still, as I mentioned, below 10 degrees Celsius, and the average high is getting closer to 20. Today's high was about 5 degrees below seasonal, so it was coolish but pleasant, especially in the afternoon, early evening. This system of low pressure that's on its way from, well, the state of Wisconsin, moving further west through the overnight, will displace this area of high pressure that's providing the clarity through the overnight. Early Tuesday morning, it looks good. In fact, it will be sunny, just chilly. So covering up the plant's a good idea. And then, of course, you want to take those covers off because we'll appreciate some of this much-needed rain. Now, it's interesting. The way the rainfall pattern is suggested by this computer model run, looks like the worst of it stays just to the north and then goes east of us. We'll have to wait and see, but I think by at least 5-6 p.m., we will see some light showers. The overnight temperature, there it is, +1 throughout the region. Some areas will be slightly above the freezing mark. Some areas will be slightly below 0 degrees Celsius. So keep that in mind for tomorrow morning. There's your sunshine. A chilly start, though. 3 degrees at 8 a.m. 9 degrees, still not even double digits by the noon hour. Increase in cloudiness, say, by about 2-3 o'clock, and by 5 or 6 we could see showers and reach our high of 16. Wednesday, Thursday, still showery, mid-teens anticipated. Friday, fair. The weekend, much warmer. And from Friday through to Victoria Day Monday, we could see temperatures in 20s for daytime highs. Travis?
Thank you, Gary. Your local pharmacist could soon handle even more of your everyday healthcare needs. Starting next July, Ontario pharmacists will be able to give more types of vaccines, including for shingles, tetanus, and RSV. They'll also be allowed to assess and prescribe treatments for 9 additional common conditions, including dry eye, mild headaches, nasal congestion, and ringworm. The province says the list could grow even further in 2027. If you haven't filled out your census form yet, time is running out. Today was the official deadline to complete the federal census before Stats Canada starts sending out reminders. That could include letters, phone calls, or even in-person visits. The census is held every 5 years and helps determine how governments allocate funding and services. People who don't complete it could also face a fine of up to $500. Canada's main stock index was helped by gains in the basic materials sector. In Toronto, the TSX gained 61 points, and in New York, the Dow added 95, and the Nasdaq is up 27. The Canadian dollar gained 0.1 cent today, and on commodity markets, gold fell $2 an ounce, and oil added $2.65 a barrel. CTV News Windsor has launched a newsletter helping you start your day with the latest local news. By signing up, you'll get direct local content straight from CTV Windsor to your inbox, including top stories, the forecast, and videos. You can sign up at ctvnewswindsor.ca. A nurse at Windsor Regional Hospital is being recognized for going above and beyond for her patients. Spencer Dion is this year's recipient of the Lois Fairley Nursing Award. She was nominated by the son of a stroke patient who says Dion brought flowers, family photo, and a sense of comfort to his mother's room, even using personal days to help provide consistent care. He says that compassion continued even after his mother was moved to a nursing home.
I just try my best every day to make a change in somebody's life, no matter how big or how small that is. Sometimes that's advocating for your patients. Sometimes that's helping them braid their hair.
Windsor baseball players can now swing for the fences at their newly renovated field.
All right, here we go. There you go. All right.
Mayor Drew Dilkins throwing the first pitch at the upgraded Father Cullen Baseball Stadium. A new backstop with netting and padding has been installed, along with new benches and updates to the dugouts. Windsor received $150,000 through the Jays Care Foundation's Field of Dreams program. The city matched the funding to give the diamond a fresh look.
I can tell you, being a former player and certainly being a coach, that anytime you can show up at a field and have it looking as nice as it can be, it certainly makes you feel like you want to play a little bit better. It gives you more of a big league look and feel. So it's definitely something that I hope the players will enjoy.
Discussion here at Windsor City Hall.
Windsor's top stories.
A major project is about to get underway.
Breaking news alerts.
Severe weather is a possibility.
And watch live.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us.
Download the CTV News app.
For one last look at the forecast tonight, we're joined by CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald. And Gary, looking ahead to the long weekend, the temperatures don't look terrible.
No, you're right about that. We are warming up. The projection is that we will be several degrees above seasonal as we head towards the weekend and Victoria Day. Some areas of southern Ontario could see 20 to 25, 26 degrees for a daytime high between Friday and Monday. Before we get there, though, we are slightly below seasonal. Case in point today. Temperature around 14. We'd be closer to 19.6. Our average tomorrow, our average will be closer to 20. About 19.8, 19.9. We're below that mark. Expect rain after the frost potentially in the morning. Rain in the afternoon during the rush hour period, and then rain Wednesday, Thursday, and possibly Friday morning. But we will warm up, and it looks pretty good. It looks more like June weather as we head into next week. That is your roundup. And wherever you are, have a good night's rest and enjoy your weather and wear the extra layers for tomorrow morning. Good night.
Thank you, Gary. Finally tonight, the 89X birthday bashes, turning the volume back up in Windsor this fall. The September 4th show at the Coliseum will feature Windsor's own The Bluestones, Canadian rockers Default, and rising act Fionn. Default will also mark 25 years since their hit album The Fallout, featuring songs like Wasting My Time and Deny.
We play them all in the Bluestones, great friends of the station. Default, we're very excited to be talking to Dallas Smith from the band as well, coming up about that too.
That's our time for tonight. I hope you'll join us tomorrow. For now, I'm Travis Fortnum. Take care.